welcome back to Sip and Spin. My name is Skylar, and over here in maroon velour pants is Brittany.
Hello. This is a variety podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing. And it's been a while, and I was afraid I was going to forget that.
You did great. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, we took a little teensy little break because 2 weeks ago, I finally had a day off for the first time in a month and a half. So I decided to also take a day off from recording just so I could not have anything to do. And it was very nice.
Just saying, how was that day?
It was so nice.
Good.
It was so nice. I think I just watched YouTube videos and took a nap, and it was lovely.
Nice. Good for you.
And then last week, Brittany and Richard were a little bit sick, but they're feeling better.
I had a sinus infection. Both of us did.
Those were the worst.
Yeah. And he got it Monday night, and he was pretty bad until Friday night. But I was fine the whole time. I was like, oh, maybe I'm not going to get it. Because usually I'm always the one that's sick first, and he eventually gets it, but only has it for a day or two. Sunday morning, I woke up, and my throat was on fire, and I was like, fuck, this is it. Luckily, though, I took medicine, so I was popping NyQuil and Dayquil, and I got over it in a few days. Yesterday and the day before, though, I still have drainage, so I'm really sniffly. But that's it. And then I'm sneezing a lot. But also the weather has been crazy.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That hasn't helped anything with allergies. So if
that's
how
I get sick too.
If I still sound sick, or if I sniffly, or I sneeze or whatever, that's why I'm not sick or anything. It's just leftover crud.
Yeah, because it would be in the 60s, and then the next day it would be
the 20s, the 30s.
It was ridiculous.
Tornado warnings.
Oh my gosh.
Tis the season.
Okay, so Friday, during the tornado warning, I'm in the office working. I'm sitting here doing my TTV reports, just typing them up, trying to get them organized and everything, trying to fix all the ones from these past 5 years that were messed up. So trying to get them downloaded, because I've gotten everything fixed at this point, but now it's a matter of getting them organized.
Yeah.
So getting them all downloaded to have electronic copies, and getting them all printed to have paper copies, and then organizing them by year and month and everything that goes together. So I was doing that, and then I was just watching Gab's her Stardew Valley Expanded series on my phone while I'm doing all this, and then it was just tornado warning. And I immediately freaked out. I'm terrified of tornadoes. I do not like them at all. And so the way that the warehouse is set up, it's here's the front of the warehouse, and the garage door to the barrel room is down here, and then we've got the giant barrel room, and then we've got the bottling room, and then there's a little hallway and another little hallway, and then if you go back to the front, there's 6 windows and an office. And then there's a hallway, and there's another wall of windows, to that office, and that's my dad's office, and then the hallway, and then there's a wall of windows, and then my office. Just right there, all windows, just 3 rows of windows. Yeah. And I'm okay. So I'm freaking out, and my dad is out running errands, so I have nobody. It's just me.
Oh, no.
So, because they're all in the bottling and warehouse part. And so I just take my little happy butt over there, because I'm I don't want to be by myself right now. And so no one's in the bottling room, which I figured would be the safest place to be, because the warehouse, the barrel room, has 2 garage doors. So I figured everyone would be in the bottling room, because there's no openings to the bottling room. So I'm okay. And so no one's there. So I'm okay. So I go into the warehouse part where all the barrels are, and they've got both garage doors cracked open, halfway open, and Kenny is grilling just right by the garage door. It's pouring down rain, 40-mile-an-hour winds.
It's windy, yeah.
And Kenny's just got the grill set up, and they're all just sitting there by the grill, while Kenny's grilling. And I'm what the fuck is going on? And then the tornado sirens start going off, and Kenny's just keeps on grilling. And I'm
That's such a guy thing. My dad used to be that same way. He would be the guy that goes outside to like stare at the sky. Like, if it's gonna be a tornado, I want to see it. And meanwhile, I'm like panicking. Yeah, that's funny.
But they were like, "Oh, are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm kind of scared of tornadoes." And they were like, "Oh, it's fine. You know, it's not gonna hit us." And Kitty goes, "Yeah, and we're close enough to the river, anyways. It's gonna keep us protected." I was like, "What does that even mean?" First of all,
the tornado doesn't care.
The tornado doesn't care about the river. I don't understand what that means. But yeah, it was just so odd, and I was like, but the fact that they were so calm and like just like,
yeah,
Johnny was like smoking his cigarettes, and when like Kenny was grilling, and they were just like so calm. And Measy was playing a game on his phone, like, and I was like, well, at least y'all are calm. That kind of helps me feel better because it's kind of hard to be freaking out when no one else is freaking out. So I was like, well, at least that's nice.
Well, that's good. Yeah, because there was a tornado that day, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was like back on Old Mayfield Road, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was over in that way again, which, can't catch a break.
Did you see on the news where that one guy was cussing out the news reporter that was trying to do...
No, I don't watch the news.
I saw it on TikTok. I didn't see it on the news.
Oh. No.
Sometimes I get like local TikToks to our area.
Really?
Yeah.
So weird. No, I've never had that.
Well, because I follow one of my friends from high school. His name is Sergio, and so sometimes he'll repost stuff that he sees. So if he reposts anything like locally, I'll see it. But yeah, like this lady was doing a news report, and the guy was like walking through and was like cussing her out, and I was like, to be fair, this did just happen to them like not that long ago. I would be frustrated too, and then like all these people from the news are coming in and doing reports and trying to ask questions. Like, I probably wouldn't be happy either.
Yeah, no, I mean, very fair. Same, yeah. It's rough. I hate tornadoes.
Yeah, they're terrifying.
And then also just the wind that day was crazy.
Mm-hmm. The week before, when the wind got really bad, we lost power.
Oh yeah, we never lost power. It flickered Friday, but like there was like a little surge, but it came right back. My mom lost power for a few hours though, like 'cause she had a lot of like trees and stuff down in her yard.
Yeah, we had trees down, and we. But what happened was the wind like knocked over a power line. So from like when the kids got off of school, like the power went out about 3:30, and it didn't come back on until like 10:30 at night.
Oh dang.
And I was like, see, and y'all all made fun of me because you're like, Skylar, do you really need to buy another candle? But when my candle distribution helped light up the whole house, next time we don't judge Skylar for how many candles she buys, okay?
Oh, I have a shit ton of candles. That is the nice thing, kind of, like, when the power goes out, because then you just, like, you feel like you're living back in the times of candles, because I have them set up all through the house. It's very ambient, it's nice. I just wish it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
Because I do that anyway.
Like, I had, in my room, I had 2 on my nightstand and 1 on my other table. And then I had 1 on the kitchen table, 1 on the bar, 1 on the island, 2 in the living room, 2 in that living room, and then 1 by the bathroom sink and 1 by the bathroom toilet. And I was just like,
Let there be light.
And Dad was like, who makes fun of you for your candle collection? We've never said anything. I'm like, yes, you have! Multiple times! Because I'll come home and I'll be like, look at this candle I got. And you're like, do you really need another candle? So who's telling me I need another candle now? Because when the power went out, who did everyone ask for a candle? Me. You're welcome.
And now you'll never let them forget.
Nope. If I come home with another candle and they're like, why do you have another candle? I'll be like, remember the time when the power went out?
Remember this day at this time?
I was the only one who was able to help. Do you remember that? Because I do.
Anyone? We're very non-petty here. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very tired, but more awake now. I took a nap today. I think I woke up at like 11 because I worked at the distillery last night, so I woke up at like 11. And then from like 2 p.m. to about 5 p.m. I just took a nap.
Oh, I did too. I took a nap today. About that time, actually. It was like 2 to 4:30. That's why it took me so long to get back to you. I think I was just asleep.
But yeah, I was just like, even though I had only woken up like 4 hours before then, I was like,
Same.
nap.
Same. I get it.
Last night was kind of busy at the distillery. We did about $472 in cover charge, and that's only charging the men, so still fairly busy.
Yeah. And does that, like, I guess that makes it probably go faster for you, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I found someone to have a conversation with, so that was nice.
Oh,
found someone to talk to, so that really helped. But it was such a weird night, because, like, JJ's equipment kept messing up, and, like, when he first got here, like, when he first got there, he couldn't get it to work at all. Like, this, just no sound would come out of the speakers.
Oh.
And then he finally got the sound working on 2 of the speakers on the stage, but the one over by where I am, and then the other one on the left side of the stage. So he got like he has 5 speakers. There's one over by where I am, and then there's 2 tall ones at the front of the stage and 2 short ones like behind him.
Okay.
And then there's a speaker outside too, but that's just more of like that one's not as important. So he got the 2 short ones working on the stage, but none of the tall speakers were working. And then all of a sudden, I'm just sitting here like doing my Duolingo on my phone, because it usually takes like a while for it to get busy. So I get there at 9, but usually like the crowd doesn't start coming in until like 10:30. Mm-hmm. So I was just sitting there doing my Duolingo, and then all of a sudden there's just like this like loud, like, I mean, all my ears were almost bleeding.
God.
It was so loud, just out of nowhere. And I like had my phone in my hand, and I was like almost threw my phone because it scared the crap out of me. And like my heart started beating so fast. Like I was like, I think I almost had a heart attack. I think I just almost died. I was like, I'm pretty sure I did die, and like came back really quick. I was like, I was not there for a second. It scared the mess out of me. But
scared the mess out of you. Is that a saying?
I think so.
I've never heard that.
I think so.
Like, okay.
I've heard other people use it.
Never. Okay.
I think it's more of a southern way of saying scared the crap out of me, because crap can be considered like a crude word. So I think
scared the mess.
So I think it's like a southern way of not being like crude. Yeah.
Huh. Look at you, just a proper southern lady.
That's me.
Poster child.
And then, so Kenny got out from behind the bar, because Kenny actually used to DJ like with Remix and Styles, and because that's the DJ group is called Remix and Styles. But Tyler and Jeremy don't really DJ at the distilleries anymore, or at the distillery anymore. It's usually just JJ now. But he like worked with Tyler and Jeremy, and so did Kenny at one point. So Kenny was up there and got it all figured out, so it started working. And then like randomly, like halfway through the night, like all of a sudden it just stopped.
Oh no.
Yeah, and so like the song he was playing, luckily like people really knew it. So like when the music went out, people just kept like singing and were like still having a good time. And JJ was like, yeah, keep doing that. Like I'm gonna try and get this figured out. And then he got it on for a second, and then it went back off, and I was like, what is going on? And JJ was like, what is going on? Like he couldn't figure it out either. And then he got it working for like another 30 minutes, and then it cut out again. So then Kenny got up there and tried to help again, and finally got it back working. It stayed that way for the rest of the night. And then, but the person I was having a conversation with, his name was Chris, and he was from St. Louis, and he just like came up to me and he was like, how's your night? I was like, it's going well. Like I was just kind of sitting there like, you know, doing my little cover charge, because I just have to sit in the corner. So I'm sure people who don't know what I'm doing are like, why is she just sitting in the corner looking sad and lonely and depressed? And I'm like, I'm just here to work. I was like, but yeah, I'm just kind of working. And he was like, oh, what do you do? And I was like, told him. And then we just talked literally from probably about 11:30 to 2 a.m.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, he must have been lonely also.
Well, he had someone he was playing pool with, so I guess he just ditched the guy he was playing pool with. I don't know.
Do you think it was a hitting on you situation?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so.
As long, I mean, he was nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
I don't think so, because he's, like you said, he's from St. Louis, so I don't think it was going to go anywhere. Like, I don't think it was like a hitting on situation. I think he was just kind of like, you know,
Shooting the shit.
I guess. But yeah, he made good conversation. His dad owns like a bar in St. Louis that is also like an arcade, and so he was asked if he was asking about like the moonshine and like the tastings and stuff. And so I told him that, you know, we do tastings during the day because they can't do like a full tasting like when it's nighttime. They just can't like give you the full tasting experience. Like it's, but I got
She came to steal Mochi's food.
yeah. I love how she kicks like each one of her paws.
She's so weird. And then when she shakes her head, she does it so hard her ears rattle. Like you can hear it. So you know it's her without even looking. Like, she's such a weird cat.
The elusive Celeste.
Yeah, she's just stealing Mochi's food.
Casual. Yeah, so I got him to try Muddy River with the chocolate coconut moonshine, and he really liked it. So he was like, I wonder, do you think you could like distribute, like if in St. Louis, like we could sell your moonshine like at that bar? And I was like, yeah, we have our distributing license in Missouri, so it shouldn't be a problem.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you.
I exchanged my work email because I have an official work email now.
Check you out.
Official title and everything. Like one of those fancy work emails.
Ooh, so official.
I have Adobe Acrobat, so I can like got all the work stuff.
Nice. Are you liking it?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I like not having to deal with anybody.
That's fair. Yeah. I could see that being a big plus.
Because like one of my last 2 days at T-Mobile, I had to spend 45 minutes explaining to a guy that he couldn't make phone calls with his email.
But I mean, yeah, I believe it.
And he was like, no, I want you to fix it to where I can make phone calls from my email. I was like, sir, it's not possible. You cannot make phone calls from your email. And he was like, yes, I can. I used to be able to. And I was like, I can guarantee you right now, no, you could not. Because that has never been a thing. 45 minutes I spent trying to explain to this man that you cannot make phone calls from your email.
Some people really just shouldn't have a phone.
And I'm like, thank God I don't ever have to deal with that again.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, good. I'm glad.
And I work right across the street from a coffee shop. Not right across the street. So it's the warehouse, a street, coffee shop.
Nice. Which coffee house is it?
Ross's Coffee House. So,
Any good?
Yeah, it's really good. My mom used to work with Chico Ross at the school, and Greg Ross used to be the principal, and they're brothers. And they have another brother who currently works in South Korea and has like a school teaching English in South Korea in Seoul. And then George, the fourth brother, he owns that
Brothers.
he owns that coffee shop.
Oh, okay.
And it's just a really small, like it's more of but it's like a coffee house and cigar bar. But I don't know how it can be a cigar bar because there is one table and one couch.
Huh.
So I think you just go in and get your
Buy
cigar
cigars.
and then leave because there's not like hangout spots in there.
Interesting.
But it's very good, and like they have this thing called a Ross Refresher, which is a Frappuccino, but I don't usually get Frappuccinos because it's more milk than it is coffee. Well, the Ross Refresher, George made it because he likes Frappuccinos, but he wants more coffee than milk. So he made a Frappuccino that's more coffee than milk and calls it the Ross Refresher.
Nice.
And I'm like,
This
I
is
want
what
that. He was like, yeah, because this is how I like it. I was like, oh my God, same.
Nice. No, I've never heard of that coffee shop.
Yeah, just like a local black-owned small business.
Nice.
Really good iced coffee. They really have good lunches too.
Oh, they do like food also?
Mm-hmm. I got an Italian sub like on a croissant, and then for the side I got pasta salad.
I'll have to check it out.
I did have to pick out the olives though because I hate olives.
Yeah, same.
But every pasta salad you get, they put olives in it. No matter where you go, it's always olives. So I just have to sit there with my fork and take the olives out.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I'm not an olive person. Richard eats them by like the can. He just eats them out of the can. It's gross like that.
We need to kill him.
I think about it often.
He cannot live like that any longer.
He's a disgrace. I know how to pickle my guess. God, it's already been 20 minutes.
Well, how are you?
I'm fine. I've been sick.
Yeah.
But I'm okay. Now, finally getting better. And then I'm tired. Because, like I said, I'm a little hungover. So if I'm low energy, it's that plus just I'm still the head stuff.
I did tell her we did not have to record today, but she insisted and then got mad at me.
Because she asked for the same thing like 5 times.
Because I felt bad because you were like, yeah, I'm just tired, I'm hungover, I'm still sniffly, and then you're like, but we can still record. I'm like, we don't have to.
It's fine, I'm okay.
But you keep saying that, but then you're like, but I'm hungover, and I'm like, it's okay, we don't have to record then. I was like, don't push yourself.
Literally fine.
I was like, you let me have a week off just so I could sleep. Like, I wasn't even sick. I just...
You needed it.
So if you were not feeling great, I was going to be like, we can take another week. It's okay. It's okay.
Literally fine. I don't know if I've seen you since then, though. Since this. I made, I think, the best charcuterie board I've ever made. Did I show you this?
I don't think so, unless I saw it on your Snapchat.
You might have. It was this one.
I did not see that on your Snapchat.
I made that!
Why didn't I get to be here for this? I want all of it.
We actually took that to someone else's house. So it was not for here. We do like watch parties. I think I talked about before, like of The Last of Us, and I made that. I went way overboard, but I was very proud of it because
it looks incredible.
I've never done anything like that before. So Richard's sister got us like a charcuterie board book, and I used that for my inspiration from this, and I was pretty proud of it.
my only update since you last seen me is I got my new phone case.
Oh, cute! Nice.
So it matches my AirPods because it's got says Yun Ming Zhang on it.
Yeah.
And then it's got the lotus and everything.
Are you gonna put your pop socket on it or what?
I don't know. I can't figure it out. I can't.
That's the dilemma.
Yes. But I got a mouse pad.
Oh, nice.
And it has Zhang Zhang on it. So I'm keeping up my themes. And then I also got a laptop bag so I could take my laptop to and from work. Because yes, I finally got my new laptop, which I did text you about that.
Yeah.
Because I got a gaming laptop. But yes. Okay. So what are...
Oh.
Here, you go first because then I'll ask you. That.
Okay. So what are we talking about today? Because I guess we need to get into this.
Yeah, probably. So we are talking about true crime.
Yes.
And what are we drinking?
We are drinking basically a hot toddy, but it's iced.
Nice.
So it's a cold toddy, I guess.
An iced toddy.
There you go. So.
Yeah, it looks very refreshing and especially with kind of how warm it's been today.
Yeah, so I figured that, and it kind of you'll see, it kind of goes in with my
okay, gotcha. Yes, because the drink was Brittany's choice, so cheers.
Very light.
Very light.
It'd probably be a lot of trouble.
Tastes like lemon tea.
Yeah, I don't taste the whiskey at all, so that's a little dangerous.
That's not good.
It's a little dangerous because we still have a whole pot downstairs.
We will probably finish it tonight.
Probably. Might as well. But yeah, I guess anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. So I realize mine is not technically going to be a true crime case, so I'm going to go ahead and apologize.
Okay, I feel like we should get our disclaimers out of the way. We're going to go ahead and get our disclaimers out of the way now. So, yes, Brittany's is not true crime.
Yeah, I don't know, I probably should have saved it for a random, but I was between this and something else, and I had Richard pick for me, and he picked this, and I was like, okay, that makes sense, and then I was like, oh, then I can do the drink with it. It makes sense. I could have done drink the other one also, but anyway. But I hear the word cult, and I think true crime.
Yeah.
So that is why I went this route, but nothing really happens. I didn't dig, if they've done bad things, but they stand for some not great things.
Okay.
Type of thing. And it's also kind of short. I only have 4 pages. So, those are my disclaimers. It's technically probably not what you expect for true crime, but I hear cult, I think, bad.
Yeah.
True crime. So they're probably doing crime somewhere, right? Like, come on.
It's a cult, probably. I can see it.
Okay, so that's my disclaimer.
My disclaimer is I did my notes last week when I still did not have a laptop, and I was also tired. So I just made it easy on myself and did something really lighthearted. And so, because usually all my stuff is, I'm always the one who's always dark and depressing, and I'm the one who's always the awful note to end on. So I decided to switch it up. So I did some stuff that was a bit more lighthearted and kind of funny, but really, and just to kind of make it easy. I have 6 different articles that I literally copied and pasted and will be reading word for word. So
there we go.
It's going to be like a narration type of podcast for me.
All right. So now you know, and you can be prepared.
So if you have high hopes for this, lower those real quick. Lower those expectations. Just they are on the ground.
I guess let's begin. Also, I'm going based on the Google pronunciation of this thing that I will be saying a lot. So that's just, if I'm saying it how you wouldn't, that's what I'm just doing what Google said. So, the timeline's a little weird, it's not sure, but sometime between 1924 and 1955, a mysterious 2,095-page book called the Urantia Book appeared in Chicago. Okay?
Okay.
The book claims to be a transmission of extraterrestrial wisdom. So it's an alien book.
Okay.
So it claims. Not a great start.
I'm already concerned.
Obviously, like, I feel like the alien thing is a way to really obscure that this was just written by a man with dated ideas, and it's not great, like I said, and bizarre ideas. Okay, so also, the book self-identifies followers as cult members. Though that language is now, like, shied away in the modern years, but it literally like, red flag.
It was just out there, like, yeah, we're a cult here.
We're an alien cult, essentially. Because, again, this is by aliens. Yeah. Do you see? This is where we're going. This is why I thought true crime, right?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Something weird's happening there.
It's a crime if you believe this. There we go. So, the scientific claims in the book do not reflect any kind of special wisdom removed from the time and place the book was written. So it's supposedly this written, like, alien transcribed wisdom, but nothing, like, fantastical is said in it that would make sense. Like, the scientific claims aren't grand. It's like, it's not this big thing that you would expect from aliens.
Yeah.
So again, another red flag.
It was just like, this is gravity.
So, like, the scientific ideas of the book are simply those held by the author and are typical of someone in his position from the, like, early 1900s, right? Spoiler alert, racism. That's also a trigger warning. It's pretty racist, my section, and, like, if...
I consider racism a crime.
So when I was doing my notes, I was just thinking, wow, if anyone ever does sound bites of some of this shit I'm gonna quote, they're gonna think I'm a horrible person. Like, someone could really fuck up my image with some of my sound bites.
No one clip this episode.
Like,
no sip and spin pod clips out of context, please.
I am simply just talking about this batshit religion. I do not agree with anything that is going to be said.
Did you mean all of them?
Huh?
You said this batshit religion? I was like, all of them?
This one, it's gonna get bad.
Oh, no.
So,
I'm already, like, curled in on myself. You haven't even really gotten into it, and I'm already doing, like, the couch.
The couch curl.
Like, the couch curl.
So, it's heavily believed, so, like, yes, it says, alien wisdom book, right? But it's heavily believed that the book was just most likely written by a Chicago physician and a student of one of your favorite guys, Freud.
Don't act like that's a thing. Huge disclaimer. I despise Freud.
That's why I said it.
Don't say that in case people's first episode is this. And they're like, oh, the young one is a fan of Freud. No, she's not. She hates him. She despises him. She thinks Freud is fraud.
There's an episode on it. You can go back.
I despise that man. That's why you were like, he's a student of one of your favorite people. I'm like, who are you talking about? You're like, I only have like one favorite like person, and he would never. No, Diogenes would never.
I was being cheeky because already like bad red flags are going.
If you're a student of Freud, you suck, and you're a quack.
Yeah, so it's really thought that this is the author of the Urantia book. Also, this guy had already been involved in other cults. Like, we're not off, like, to a good story. Oh, also, his name was William Sadler. William Sadler, I get very bad vibes from you, my guy.
And oh my god, he joined multiple cults and then decided to just start his own.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So, this is what he claims, though. So, Sadler claims the contents of the book actually came from a neighbor who was in an unconscious hypnotic state while he gave the statements in the book. Sadler claimed the man
sounds like a Freud student
was being channeled by aliens. So that's
no longer sounds like a Freud student.
So that is his claim, and then most people just believe like, no, this is just his own agenda. Like these are his words, but he's using this claim of like, my neighbor was being channeled by aliens, and he told me the account, so he was hypnotized.
Yeah, until he said channeled by aliens, it was very Freudian there for a second, like being the whole like writing a book and claiming it was like because this is how someone else thinks and then passing it off as like a psychological phenomena. No, you're projecting. And that's what I thought. He was like, yeah, my neighbor in his hypnotic state. No, you were projecting. But then you said possessed by aliens, and then it got even weirder.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you can get much weirder than Freud, but he managed to cross that line.
We're gonna get weirder still, don't worry. Funnily enough, though, to be noted, Sadler had previously written a book debunking popular paranormal claims, but now he's writing the Alien Bible. So batshit crazy. How was no one made a movie on this? I gotta know. Like, Hollywood, you keep making the same fucking movie when this is gold. Oh my god, I cannot. And just wait. Later on,
it's like I feel like I have to get all my laughs out now because I know we're gonna get into some shit.
Oh yeah. Later on, parts of the Urantia book were discovered to be plagiarized from other texts also. So, aliens, I guess, are plagiarists.
Hey, me too. That's my segment this week.
I just cannot. This man's. Okay, so now let's get into...
How do you have that crazy ideas and still manage to take them from somewhere else?
He's also, like, it's probably because he was on all the other cults and he was just, like, cherry picking and then probably copying their text or some shit, thinking it would be fun because the aliens said it. I cannot. But, okay, so what is this belief? So, the central idea of this particular religious text revolves around the idea that there are many different sons of God who live on many different planets in a galaxy that consists of billions of worlds, okay? According to their belief system, our world is just one of billions and it's called Urantia. That's the central idea.
Where did he come up with that name?
I don't know.
That's what I want to know. I don't know where he got that name. Because it's one thing to make yourself like a cult and like an area for your cult to live and give it a name. Yeah. It's another thing to claim that our world, our Earth...
He's claiming galaxies here.
...is named this. Like,
yeah. Earth? No, we live on Urantia.
It's like, where did you come up with that? Because I feel like if you're going to make a bold statement like that, you better be able to back it up.
The alien said it, not him, Skylar. Gosh. Which, like, fair enough, I guess. It's not too crazy for being alien text. Kind of tame. Now let's touch on some ick. So, Sadler was also interested in race eugenics. Of course he was. Which, if you don't know...
That was worse than what I imagined.
Yeah, it gets bad.
Like, racism is bad, but he got worse than racism.
He topped it. How do you top it? This.
He managed to do it.
So, if you don't know, which I'm sure you do, this is a field of study that seeks to remove quote, inferior kinds of people from the gene pool. Racist. Like, this is racism. So, one of his favorite books, before the Urantia Book, was Madison Grant's The Passing of the Great Race, which says that Nordic people are the, quote, ideal human race, and, quote, getting rid of other races would, quote, enable us to get rid of the undesirables who crowd our jails, hospitals, and insane asylums. I think it's bad, and this is where, like, don't soundbite me on any of this shit, okay? Of course, racial hygiene theories like this is what get popular, and then, of course, we get the Nazi Party in Germany shortly after all of this. So it's already not going well for this Urantia. Keep forgetting the N. William Sadler's wife, who was also a physician, she once wrote that eugenics would eliminate, quote, at least 90% of crime, insanity, feeble-mindedness, moronism, and abnormal sexuality, not to mention many other forms of defectiveness and degeneracy. Thus, within a century, our asylums, prisons, and state hospitals would be largely emptied of their present victims of human woe and misery. End quote.
What the fuck?
Big fucking yikes.
That is the worst sentence I've ever heard in my entire life.
I never wanted to read that sentence.
That is awful.
Yeah, that was just, so, it's him and his wife, they essentially are starting a racism cult. Do you see where we're going here?
Oh my god.
That's why I'm like, I don't talk about anything bad. Like, this is bad enough as it is. I never heard of any crimes, but I feel like if this was your belief, you had to be killing people. Like,
they probably,
someone was doing something.
There's no telling how many minorities they murdered.
Oh, yes. We're gonna get weirder. So, the Urantia Book claims that 500,000 years ago, 6 colored races existed on our planet. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and indigo. According to the text, there was a racial superiority order with the indigo race at the bottom, in which, as it notes, the, quote, blue man subdues the indigo, end quote. If you can't tell, the indigo race represents black people. Like, that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
In the text that people got when they report on this, which is already, like, fucking mind-boggling, okay? The text also weirdly states that strains of giantism can appear in green and orange peoples. I don't even know where to go with that. I don't know what that is, who that is in reference to, or, like, I don't know. I don't understand. There's, like, a whole color-coded chart of someone, like, string theorying this, and it's batshit crazy. Crazy.
I don't even know where you come up with something like that.
Oh, but guess what? So the kicker of all of this is that on every planet in the universe, right, from the before theory, fair-skinned, blue-eyed aliens named Adam and Eve come and upstep the natives, meaning that they eliminate the inferior stocks and purify the planet. Yeah. I can't.
What? Oh my god. Oh my god.
The book argues for eugenics as a way to remedy the existence of inferior races, which they say are responsible for the existence of disease.
Somehow my couch curl got, like, even worse. I'm holding my head.
Can't even see Skylar's face. Remember,
oh my god,
this book was apparently the wisdom of aliens. But I'm pretty sure it was just by some racist Chicago guy.
Yeah, that's pretty clear.
Because why would, like, aliens aren't doing that. Like, what the fuck?
I don't think aliens have a stock in this at all.
In fact, I think they'd be quite offended.
Yeah.
Since 1955, the book has been published by the Urantia Foundation.
Oh, there's a foundation?
Yep, and the website looks very culty. I went to it. It's weird vibes all around.
I don't even want to look at it.
It gave me Scientology vibes. Like, it is a cult. It is a fucking cult. So the president of the foundation is Mo Siegel. The foundation exists to publish the Urantia book and ensure the ideas in the book are spread. Like, please don't.
Oh, great. So he is actively trying, like, this is still happening today?
Yeah. This guy is still the president.
Oh, great. So currently actively still trying to spread race eugenics. Great.
Yep.
Great. Oh my god, what the fuck? How have we not, like, banned this?
Yeah, it gets weirder. This is why, actually, this next bit is why I even came across this information. So, according to the Foundation's website, Mo Siegel discovered the Urantia book in 1969 during the Summer of Love. This is interesting because around the same time, during the Summer of Love, Mo Siegel and a handful of other Colorado hikers founded the company Celestial Seasonings, which is the very popular tea company that makes sleepy time tea.
So sleepy time tea is ran by a racist.
They discovered that the Rocky Mountains were full of aromatic herbs that made delicious tea, and it just kind of grew from there. At the time, the brand featured herbs handpicked by a founder who was, of course, Mo Siegel, so he had that. Siegel was already a well-known herbalist in Boulder at the time, selling his famed 36 herb tea to health food stores in the area in hand-sewn muslin bags. In 1972, Siegel and Celestial Seasonings gave birth to Sleepy Time Tea, which is what they're most popular for, a blend made from chamomile, spearmint, and other herbs. As the company's website says, this new product, quote, helped turn our cottage industry into a near overnight success, end quote. This is the official history that Celestial Seasonings wants the public to know, but as we have just found out and are about to go a little bit deeper into, it is also funded by someone who follows this cult.
I'm gonna have to throw away all my Celestial Seasonings tea.
Yeah.
Because I think I have like 2 boxes.
Same, I did too. Which is also why we're drinking a tea drink, because it ties in.
Hopefully it's not Celestial Seasonings.
It is, actually.
Ah, Brittany!
I already own these, so I'm gonna still, like, use them, but I'm probably not
gonna buy anymore. You're making me drink racist tea right here on the podcast.
I know. What? What would you say?
I said it is good, though.
It is! That's what's so upsetting about it. Celestial Seasonings would grow to be very successful, of course. It's currently America's #1 tea manufacturer. Mm-hmm. They sell over 1 billion individual cups of tea each year and rake in about 100 million each year. Their collection of herbal and fruit beverages continues to expand, as does their popular Sleepy Time tea line. It also now comes in pod form, so you can even use them in, like, single-serve coffee makers. Mm-hmm. They're widely available. It really works in their favor. Plus, the Sleepy Time has a really cute bear mascot that people love. Like, it's a recognizable bear.
Yeah.
Celestial Seasonings attracts more than 100,000 visitors each year on their tea tour, and the company's HQ is considered one of the top free travel destinations in the U.S. So, like, they're swimming high. Like, nothing will bring them down, unfortunately. But, I mean, I'm also not claiming that they are racist. I don't know. You can't find anything. Like, they kind of don't want people to know this shit. But I think more people should.
Yeah. I mean, I can see why they wouldn't want people to know, but it's kind of important that people are aware.
Yes.
That the founder of this company is also the president of a race eugenics cult.
Yes. And also, so he was one of the co-founders, but another co-founder, I don't have his name written down, I can't remember because I'm not really focusing on him, because he's also not a president of the foundation, but he was also in the cult. So there was two of the co-founders followed this belief. So just take this as you will, use it for your own mind, whatever. I have just a little bit more. So, after the initial founding of the company, Mo Siegel went on to become the president of the company until a merger with Kraft. But then, after a corporate buyback, Siegel returned from retirement for over a decade to once again lead the company. So, for a long time, he was the top guy at Celestial Seasonings. In an article Mo Siegel co-authored for the Urantia Foundation called The 20 Most Asked Questions, he says that illness is caused by evil, a belief that he shares with the confirmed groomer cult the Duggars belong to. He says that we will never cure disease because, quote, Humankind loses about as much progress as it makes by ignoring eugenics, end quote. So he actually said that in an article, so you can't say he doesn't believe in this shit, because he does. He's the president of the foundation for it. And you can say, oh, that's probably really dated. No, he's still claiming that eugenics are the way to go. Like, they are still a racist belief cult. It's really gross. So, like, a co-founder of a really popular tea brand was under the leadership of the Urantia Foundation president for decades. Did it affect the company? That's the main question here, right? And the answer is maybe. Like, I couldn't find too much on it. Some people did do some digging. So, like, for starters, the official story of the company's Celestial Seasonings name is that it was a flower name of one of the other founders. However, many people that are familiar with, like, Siegel's connection to the book think the name alludes to the contents of the text. Since it claims to be authored by celestial beings, Celestial Seasonings then could be a cheeky little reference that's like alien wisdom sprinkles. So again, that's not great. The Urantia Book was so influential in the early company culture that its ideas might still be baked in the company. You can't really find out for sure. Like, no one's going to come out and say it, really. Most Siegel did retire from the company almost 2 decades ago, and there is no evidence that the company and the book or the foundation are still linked, but they could be. You don't know. What we do know is that if you drink tea from them, your tea comes with the inspirational tea tags, and those are direct quotes from the Urantia Book. So you are drinking a racist, eugenics, alien book writing tea tags, and it was also on the back of their boxes for a while, like inspirational messages from the actual book. So he did put it in the brand. Like, you can't claim that he didn't. So you can do with that information what you will. I'm just going to end it on this little bit. So in 2015, writer Megan Giller broke this story about Siegel following the religion, and here are some little snippets of her story that she wrote for the online magazine Van Winkles. So the backstory of this is she did the tour at the tea house and wanted to do like a little fluff piece on how they make their tea, but the tea blenders refused. They didn't want to talk to her. So then she started digging, and then she found this cult stuff, and now she's like, well, I bet they wish they did that fluff piece then, because then she just went out and exposed them. So this is just some of that exposure. So all this will be a quote. In fact, the text was a major reason he decided to found Celestial Seasonings. After studying the teachings in the Urantia Book, I knew that it would be selfish and wasteful to simply focus on material success, he said. So as a young man, when I began thinking of what I could do to make a living, I immediately turned to the health food industry. The ideas in the Urantia Book were the inspiration for the uplifting quotes we print on the side of our tea boxes and on our tea bag tags. Mo and John, so John was the other guy that was a founder that does also follow this. So Mo and John used it as a guiding principle and continually quoted from the Urantia Book. Carolyn, this is a quote. This is what Carolyn McDougall told her. She was the company's 5th employee, and she's the current founder and CEO of Ticino. This is what she told her. Like, they actually were continually quoting this book at work. And then at staff meetings, they would even use quotes to bolster their arguments. Quote, it was a guide for making sure of the moral values that underlay the company at the time, end quote. So that's all I really have on that.
That was awful.
It's really bad. Like I said, I didn't do too much. I was really just tying in this racist alien eugenics cult to this really popular #1 selling tea brand that a lot of people probably don't know there is a connection. And like, yeah, maybe they don't do that anymore, but as the 5th employee said, like, they use that book to see if your morals aligned with their beliefs to work there. And they still use the quotes on the boxes and the bags. So it's not great. It's not cute. Do with that as you will, I guess. Sorry if I ruined your favorite tea.
This whole story just ruined my day.
Yeah, so maybe not like traditional true crime, but I still think like it's bad. So that's why I covered that.
Yeah, it's very bad. It's awful. It's horrible. That was awful.
Yeah, really, really bad. I wish you could see Skylar's face.
I hate it. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Do you need another drink? I see you downed it.
Yeah, I chugged mine. I was like, I started off this episode talking about like a cute little, small business, black-owned coffee shop, like talking about how great it was, and then you just come in and just like
ruin tea. Yeah, I just can't believe more people don't know.
Oh, that was awful. That was awful. That was awful. That was awful.
The audacity of William Sadler writing an alien book like that.
Yeah. Well, I guess because what I was originally gonna do would have been also awful. So I guess I'm glad I went with what I went with and not with what I was originally gonna do, because
your mood would be real down.
It would have been real down. It would have been like a Church of Latter-day Saints, like the LDS Church, and then the FLDS, and so it would have gotten very culty with like Mormonism and fundamentalism, and so it would have
been a lot of cults.
It would have gotten real bad. So I guess I'm glad I didn't go with that. Maybe next time though.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's go get another drink.
Okay.
I'm gonna need it.
We'll be back.
We are back.
I'm glad yours is lighter, apparently.
Yes. So, like I said, normally when I do true crime, I always do something super dark and depressing, and it's always a terrible note to end on. And I've cried several times doing my cases. I did not cry this time. I did laugh.
Okay, I love it.
So, like I said, because I've been so busy, I just decided to do something lighthearted and easy. So today I'm just going to read you 6 little short Florida man/woman articles that made me laugh, and hopefully it'll make you laugh too.
Florida man.
And like I said, huge disclaimer, I will be reading these articles word for word. I just pulled the articles that made me laugh, and I'll be reading them to you like a little narration.
Alright.
And I got them from BuzzFeed, and BuzzFeed steals content, so I can steal BuzzFeed's content.
Fair enough.
Okay. Florida witch swindled victims out of $100,000 by promising to cleanse their cash. Police say victims were told their money would double or triple. By Adrian Cutway, web editor. Published April 20th, 2021. In 2021, Naples police say they're looking for a woman who offered witchcraft and spiritual services to victims as a way to get them to hand over massive amounts of cash. All in all, the woman stole $100,000 from 10 different victims who responded to ads she placed in free Hispanic newspapers, on radio stations, and flyers placed in laundromats, according to a report from the Naples Police Department. Records show the first victim came forward on March 14th saying he saw a flyer at a laundromat that offered a 100% guarantee when it comes to solving problems with a wife or girlfriend.
Okay.
Already a red flag. If anything is claiming 100% guarantee, not a great look.
Yeah, because before that, like, I guess that is something, because I was like, could they even do anything? Like, if they willingly gave her money, like, it's not stealing. It's people being dumb.
Yeah.
But I guess the 100%, like, I guess that is, like, false advertising. But again, I don't know if that's, like, punishable by law. I don't know.
Yeah, so the victim called the number on the flyer and scheduled an appointment with a woman who called herself Rosalia. The next day at a suite on 6th Avenue. Police say that during the first visit, Rosalia pulled out a deck of tarot cards and told the victim she sensed something dark in his life. So she instructed him to fix the darkness by sleeping with 3 eggs under his bed and then return with the eggs the next day.
Okay.
Records show the victim did as instructed, and Rosalia took the eggs and waved them over the victim's head before she opened them up to reveal that one contained blood, another contained needles, and the third contained worms.
Okay.
Rosalia then told the victim to get as much money as possible by withdrawing cash and borrowing from friends, and then return with the bill so she could bless the money, making the money double and possibly triple in quantity, according to the report. Officers said that the victim returned with $29,500 in cash, and asked Rosalia to bless it, but she said she saw darkness in the money, so she needed to take it to a temple in Fort Myers and would return it to the victim the next day.
Oh my god.
When the next day came, Rosalia said she wouldn't be able to make the appointment and would meet with him another time, but then stopped replying to the victim's text messages, records show.
Oh, bless his heart.
As police were investigating, they said they saw 2 other people waiting outside Rosalia's suite on 6th Avenue who said Rosalia took $11,435 and $8,000 cash from them under the guise that she was taking the money to be cleansed. A fourth victim was located at the suite as well around the same time and said he handed over $10,000 to Rosalia, but he didn't want his wife to know, so he didn't provide a sworn statement.
Oh my god. There you go. He's a real one.
He's like, please, my wife can't find out about this.
Oh, she'd be pissed.
Oh, she would be so mad. Okay, so the next one. Naked man arrested after wandering into his neighbor's yard and jumping on their trampoline.
Amazing.
By miles in the morning, 98.7 Caleb, March 5th, 2001.
Yes.
I love that it's fucking Caleb as well.
I know. Fucking Caleb.
When a woman in Fort Myers, Florida opened her door after she heard someone knocking, we're betting she didn't expect to see her neighbor, 21-year-old Adrian Lee Gonzalez Bradway, standing there naked. But that's exactly what she found. When the woman asked Bradway if he needed any help, he responded, no, and then immediately left.
I mean, he's thriving, hun.
About half an hour later, the woman looked out her window and saw the Florida man jumping up and down on the family trampoline, and he was still naked. Though she wasn't sure if he was on drugs, after the woman observed Bradway fondling himself, she called the police for assistance. When they arrived, Bradway hopped off the trampoline, ran up to the house demanding to be let in. When she didn't, he smashed a window.
Oh my god.
Police thankfully arrived at the scene before any more damage could be done and immediately arrested Bradway. According to WSOC, he is now facing charges of burglary and criminal mischief.
I mean, he do be mischievous.
He was very mischievous. He was acting very mischievous, as some may say. Florida man steals entire stacks of lottery tickets, returns in new clothes to steal safe. By NBC News Channel, posted June 15th, 2021.
Okay.
Fort Myers, Florida, NBC. A thief pressed his luck looting a load of lottery tickets from a Gulf Coast convenience store, then returning to the scene to swipe a safe.
You never return. He fought.
The double dipping was all caught on camera inside the Fort Myers, Florida store, with police there releasing the video showing the man walking in, wrestling with the lottery ticket machine, and then taking off with as many tickets as he could manage. He must have been feeling lucky because he returned in different clothing with 2 targets for a second go-around, the cash register and the safe. His luck ran out there, though. Turns out it was empty.
No one's gonna know. Who's gonna know? Put on a funny little hat.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
You know what? I like the audacity of Florida man. Always have.
Florida man uses finger guns to steal Waffle House napkins.
Shut up. Oh my god.
A Florida man uses finger guns to steal Waffle House napkins, deputies say.
Napkins?
Napkins?
Also, you would just take them. I don't understand.
By Thomas Brown, published October 19th, 2021. So this is in Madison County. Okay, a Madison County Waffle House employee called 911 Monday night to report an attempted robbery. The suspect was unarmed and simply left after grabbing some napkins, according to the Madison County Sheriff's Office. The Madison County Sheriff's Office identified Eward William Rodriguez as the assailant based on video footage and witness descriptions. Rodriguez...
The assailant just took some napkins.
Rodriguez entered the Waffle House on 145 Southeast Bandit Street at 8 p.m., said Madison County Sheriff's Office. Witnesses described him as a white man wearing a gray hoodie, dark jeans, a dark hat with dark hair. He was reportedly accompanied by a small dog.
Oh.
Rodriguez then began shouting, "Get on the ground, y'all are getting robbed."
At least he let them know.
According to the Madison County Sheriff's Office report. He then stated that he was high and drunk before grabbing some napkins and walking out. Rodriguez got into a vehicle and left the parking lot, the 911 caller told deputies. The suspect did not appear to have a weapon, but did raise his hands with his fingers in the shape of a gun, said the Madison County Sheriff's Office. Deputies located Rodriguez at his residence and placed him under arrest without incident after he admitted to the crime. He was then taken to Madison County Jail on charges of unarmed robbery and assault. The 911 caller told deputies no one was hurt in this incident.
I don't understand. Honestly, I don't even know if I would have called 911. I don't know if he lied. I'd been like, Okay, that was weird.
Especially at a Waffle House. Waffle House employees let everything slide.
I was about to say, I've seen people beat up other people. Like,
but you're gonna arrest this guy for pointing finger guns at you and taking some napkins?
Oh my goodness.
That was probably my favorite one, though. I was reading that, I started cracking up, especially the, everyone get on the ground, y'all are getting robbed.
Oh my god, that was a good one. I mean, when you work on Bandit Street, what do you expect? He had no choice.
It was his calling. There was a sign, a street sign. It was telling him how to live.
Oh my god. Hey, you can't use a ruler. You don't know how to read. It has been there for months, and you were just now so fascinated by it.
But it does the wobble wobble. She wants it to wobble. Florida man stabbed with swordfish in fight. February 22nd, 2002, in Madeira Beach, Florida. A Florida fisherman was recovering today after being stabbed with the bill of a swordfish during a fight with another man, a sheriff's spokeswoman said. Police arrested Frank Ashmus, 46, and Garth Spacek, S-P-A-C-E-K, 42, Thursday after the two fishermen allegedly started fighting near a dock in Madeira Beach, a small city on Florida's Gulf Coast. Police said that after Spacek hit Ashmus in the head with a beer bottle and left, Ashmus went to Spacek's apartment and stabbed him in the abdomen with a sharp detached bill of a swordfish.
Oh gosh.
We don't see this kind of thing very often, said Pinellas County Sheriff's spokeswoman Mariana Pasha. Both men were drunk, according to the police.
Yeah.
Ashmus and Spacek were held without bond on charges of aggravated battery. Spacek was in fair condition, Pasha said.
I mean,
both men were drunk.
That was personal, I feel like.
It was just like, both men were drunk. And that was like a whole paragraph. And I was like it stood out. And I was like, I mean, yeah.
Like you couldn't have guessed.
Like, I think I figured that one out on my own.
I feel like just the state of Florida, everyone's just drunk all the time.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Me too. 42-year-old Summerfield woman who once claimed to own Google back in jail.
Back in jail.
By staff report, January 17th, 2021. A Summerfield woman who went berserk and claimed to own Google after a woman ordered her to leave her property last year is back behind bars.
Leave my property. I own Google. What did she think? Oh, by all means, my lady. Come in.
Yes, of course. I'm so sorry I did not recognize you. Please.
Lady Google. Oh my god.
Marion County Sheriff's deputies were called to a home in the 6200 block of Southeast 140th Street. I don't know how to read addresses like that.
Same.
On Thursday, in reference to a trespassing issue, and when they arrived, they spotted 42-year-old Laura Beth Seymour walking across the backyard of the residence. She told deputies she had been charging her cell phone in an outlet on the back porch of the home, a sheriff's office report states. Deputies determined that Seymour had been issued a trespass warning from the property earlier in the day and placed her under arrest. A deputy removed her hat while placing her in the backseat of a patrol vehicle and noticed a piece of aluminum foil inside the inner band that contained a crystal-like substance that field tested positive for methamphetamine.
Oh gosh.
Seymour said she found the methamphetamine inside the residence and later claimed a friend gave it to her. So she claimed the meth was in the house she was trespassing at, and then when they were like, no, she was like, well, it was actually from a friend.
The owner of Google would never do that.
A deputy attempted to read Seymour her rights and explained them multiple times, but she claimed she didn't understand them.
Of course. Well, meth will do that to you, kids.
She was then transported to the Marion County Jail. Seymour, who lives at 2590 Southeast 170th Lane in Summerfield, was charged with trespassing and possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. She was being held on $10,000 bond and is due in court February 16th at 9 a.m. to answer to the charges, jail records show. Seymour was also arrested in April 2020 after a nasty altercation with a woman who told her to leave her property.
She just owns the world.
A sheriff's deputy reported that Seymour was grabbing items at the property and throwing them out of a gate onto a roadway. So she was just taking this other person's stuff and throwing it into the road.
Good.
A deputy reported that she appeared to be under the influence of an unknown substance. I'm guessing it was probably meth.
I have a suspicion.
The victim said Seymour entered the back of her property and woke her up. She said she got into a verbal altercation with Seymour, and she became irate when she told her to leave. The victim said Seymour also threw a bottle of beans at her, a report says.
A bottle of beans, not a can of beans.
No, a bottle of beans.
Fuck.
During that call, a deputy read Seymour her rights, but she said she didn't understand them.
God.
After claiming ownership of Google and several other businesses, she told the deputy she had used methamphetamine.
So I own Google and all these other things, and I also did meth, but I own Google. That's the important part.
She also said she had broken a window inside the victim's residence, which had caused the small cuts on her arm. A computer check showed that Seymour was also convicted of battery in Marion County in February of 2018 and in Sumter County in August 2016. She was then placed under arrest and transported to the Marion County Jail, where she was charged with domestic battery, second or subsequent offense. Yeah,
it's hard owning Google. Go through a lot of shit.
People just don't respect you anymore to be able to use their charger on their back porch.
God. Cut some slack.
The lady owns Google.
Fuck. That's recognized. Florida people, man.
Florida people.
Florida is its own.
But yeah, it made me laugh, so I was like, let me do something lighthearted today.
I like it. It was needed. I feel better.
A little bit of pick-me-up after what Brittany brought us.
Yeah. People need to know.
They do.
The #1 tea brand.
But it doesn't mean I have to be happy about it. But that people do need to know.
Let's spin.
Let's spin.
That was weird.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be.
I did too.
And then it just like, bloop.
Just kept going. Like, okay.
Okay. So our topic next time is going to be cooking.
Our
Which
drink will be white wine.
white wine and cooking. It does go well together.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think Skylar gets to pick the food, so
Try not to overload us with carbs.
that will be her pick.
That's usually what I do.
And we'll
'Cause I fucking love carbs.
and we'll sip on some white wine. And if you're new here or whatever, our cooking episodes, they are usually recorded while we're cooking. So there's like a lot of loud noises, but we'll go over all that next week.
Clangs, bangs, clashes.
Yeah. So far, no fires. Knock on some wood.
And then dog pitter-patters.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Clashes, clangs, bangs, and dog pitter-patters.
It's all of the noises. So if you like chaos and noise, you might like our cooking episode.
And we haven't really shouted at each other in a long time on the cooking.
That's true.
It did happen.
Yeah. We're going strong.
So if you would like to find us as a collective, you can find us at If you would like to find us as a collective, you can find us at Sip and Spin Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the things. You can email us at sipandspinpod@gmail.com. If you would like to find Brittany, you can find her at Whimsy Dream or Whimsy Dreams, depending on what was available. And if you would like to find me, you can find me at Gleam YKS. But as always, the 3 link trees will be down in the description below.
Yes. And we thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you for joining us. We're
Sorry.
back.
Yeah, we took a little bit of a little break, but we should be good and going steady now again. Yeah, just thanks for listening. I know true crime is always kind of a bummer, but I don't think it was too bad. We've definitely done worse. You can go listen to older episodes.
Yeah, this was not the worst one we've done.
So,
I think episode 5 was probably the worst one we did.
So we have some doozies in the backlog. As always, it's kind of never sure how it's gonna go. Don't soundbite any of my stuff from today. Please.
But yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Yes, we will not sip on tea with you anymore. But.
Or if we do, it'll be a different brand.
Yes. So no sipping on Celestial Seasonings.
Bye.
Bye.